All right, so Jesse, this would not be unprecedented, what Kevin McCarthy is talking about in terms of taking members off committee. That was what the Democrats did last year to a couple of Republicans.
There's a walnut-sized area that's nestled right here in the frontal part of people's brain. It's called something cortex. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's there for planning ahead, and it what makes human beings unique. And I believe if scientists cracked open the brains of Democrats, they wouldn't find anything there because they have a childlike inability to plan ahead. Who would have thought that the Republicans would come back and do the exact same things the Democrats did to them? It's like they never imagined a scenario where they would lose power. And they only did this because Kevin McCarthy doesn't want to do this. He has to do this because when your opponent drops a weapon, in order to survive, you pick that weapon up and then you attack your opponent with that weapon. Let's go through these people. Swalwell, so he fell for a Chinese communist honey trap. So he's either compromised or too stupid to be on the Intelligence Committee. And then there's Adam Schiff, who totally discredited the Intelligence Committee because he would go into these briefings, he'd hear that there was no collusion, and then he'd speed out of the briefings and leak to the press that there was collusion. And he was involved in orchestrating that stupid whistleblower to come out and spill the beans on the perfect phone call just to try to disguise the fact that Joe's family was corrupt in Ukraine. And he fell for a prank phone call and tried to get pictures of Donald Trump in his underwear. So he's either a pervert or too stupid, again, to be on the Intelligence Committee. Now, Omar, I don't really know what she said, but it seems like she's the Kanye West of foreign affairs. So if the Democrats want to boycott Kanye, they have to boycott her in order to be consistent. But either way, the Democrats had this coming.
Even the Democrats thought about censoring Omar, but didn't. I thought that one thing Kevin McCarthy said was very interesting about Eric Swalwell, that he couldn't get a security clearance in the private sector, so why should he be allowed one in Congress?
I don't think he could get a security clearance at a Cub Scout treehouse. I mean, it's true what Jesse said. He was honeypotted by a Chinese spy. This is like exactly what corporate videos tell people when they're traveling. Warning, don't get compromised. Beware of a really attractive woman hitting on you. It is not because of how you look. It's like they would show in the video, they would show a picture of Eric Swalwell. You do not attract beautiful women at bars. That should tip you off immediately that no, it's not your lucky day, right? And as for Ilhan Omar, she will not be on the foreign affairs. But what about family affairs?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you see that one coming? But I think the first up, I think that what Republicans could do, don't take any advice from anyone in the media about proposed hearings, because they play for the other side. That's their game. They're going to say that, we have so many things to concentrate on. This is going to distract us from the bigger problems, as if they really were on top of COVID during impeachment. So you got those three things, Mayorkas, the Whipgate, 51 intel agents. Every day we should meet a new intel agent that signed that letter that said that Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinfo. And the origins of COVID, which I think we can all agree, but when the media says it's a waste of time, that means it's worth it.
The other thing is that remember when the whole Clinton Monica Lewinsky scandal happened back then, the Democrats created MoveOn.org. There was a lot of money to try to defend against this. Well, they've done it again, and Arabella Network, it was basically like liberal money coming in to basically fund. They already have $1.5 million, and they're mainly trying to do PR right now to talk to the media to try to get them set up, Judge.
Well, yeah, I mean, they understand that it takes money. They know how to collect money. They don't care whether it's dark money or where it's from. They're going to do it to defend themselves. And, the crazy part about all this is that it's the Democrats. I mean, it was Obama who said elections have consequences. I mean, we could say the same thing to them. Elections have consequences. So your people are going to go. No one better than Ilhan Omar. And by the way, for all of the things that she said about Israel and her anti-Semitic tropes and everything else, she wasn't thrown off any committees. They kept her on foreign affairs. Nancy Pelosi said it was fine. And then they passed this resolution, and they never even put her name in it. They just said, we object to hate speech. And they let her off the hook. It was crazy. And so they removed Marjorie Taylor Greene. So I would expect that they would, at the very least, remove Adam Schiff. And I'll tell you why. He's a former prosecutor. He's a lawyer. He comes out and he swears. He says, I have evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump colluded with the Russians. Every day he came out and said it. And he lied to the American people, and he contributed to the divide in this country, which we didn't need. And when it came time to say it under oath, He admitted he had nothing. So in the end, what we've got here is we have a whole group that's got to go from Ilhan Omar to him and to Swalwell. Swalwell's, he's a liar. And, he got caught by honeypot.
Go ahead, Jessica.
I don't know if Eric Swalwell is a liar. U.S. officials investigated after it came to light that he was seeing a woman who was a Chinese spy. They've said that it doesn't appear that she got any classified information. He hasn't been in contact with her since 2015, and
Who
she's
did he get that from?
U.S. officials.
Oh, U.S. officials?
Yes.
The same ones that said they were Russian collusion? Those same
Was it
officials?
the intel
I can't-
officials? The
Let's give her a
51?
chance to talk.
That walnut thing in the front of my brain is short-circuiting, so I don't know if I can get through my talking points, but I've been very critical of Ilhan Omar, it's all about the Benjamins, the dual loyalty stuff. I wish that there was no place in the Democratic Party for that kind of thinking and that kind of speech. But I appreciate that the judge actually said Marjorie Taylor Greene's name out loud, because everyone else said, this is what the Democrats did. Marjorie Taylor Greene, beyond the Jewish space lasers that started wildfires in California, the reason that she was really taken off the committee is because she liked a post that was about putting bullets in the heads of other Democrats. And there were a number of Republicans who supported her pulling off of committees, because if you want your opponent to die, you do not have any place serving on these committees.
So she's off the
as far as
They
no,
did what
don't
they-
say that.
That's
It cannot be eye for an eye if the eyes are
Oh.
not comparable at all, and they aren't in this case. Eric Swalwell, I get the security clearance argument. Let's see what happens there. But for the rest of it, it makes absolutely no sense to me.
You know what the thing is, though? What you're saying is our bad guy is not as bad as your bad guy. And that's biased, because we could say the same thing. Our bad, it's
I
that
don't
thing.
know.
Our good guys are better than your good guys.
Our bad girl is better than their bad girl.
Exactly. So we have both of
Don't
us
make
have
this
bad
like
girls.
a weird,
It's better
sexy
then.
thing.
Both
Wanting
okay.
to kill Democrats.
Jessica,
is-
both sides have bad girls. We should send both bad girls to their room until they learn a lesson.
There's bad people on both sides.
There's bad people on
Don't do
both
that.
sides.
No,
All right.
absolutely not.